From the Mike and April studios, this is Plugged In.
Welcome in, everybody. Happy Sunday. Happy 4th of July weekend. Hope everybody is doing well. We are on episode 20 for Plugged In with April. This is awesome. We are just chugging along. Welcome in, Tracy in Arizona. How are you doing? I hope you're doing well. We had a great weekend thus far. We got a lot of time and things done yesterday. We spent so much time in our garage, guys. It needed to be cleaned up. And it is looking great out there. Super excited that we can move around in the garage and maybe get back into working on our camper. Welcome in, Valerie, Alexander. Hope you are doing well. Thank you. Lisa, hello to you. Everybody is coming in. Appreciate that, guys. Do appreciate the support. Be sure you hit that thumbs up button. Show us some love there. And we appreciate you guys coming in time and time again. I know we did this Monday night, and I appreciate everybody. It was not on schedule. And so we do appreciate everybody joining in on Monday night once we got settled in from vacation. It was a great time. I do appreciate it. Welcome in, Scott Nightingale. Hope you are doing well tonight. LoveStruck Gambling. I appreciate you, Miss Tina, trying. I know the mountains are hard to drive through. Our daughter just got home. She was driving home from Colorado this weekend. So we know how it goes. Touchy service in and out, in and out. So glad you guys could join us. We just had a great weekend. We spent a lot of time on the garage, and then we had our neighborhood fireworks show last night. We did go live for that. So if you guys want to go back and check it out, you can. It was beautiful. It's just something our HOA does here. And it was a lot of fun. We had a great time. I got to drink something new last night. It was called the Palomas, and this is tequila and fresca, and that was actually very refreshing. Sitting out there enjoying the fireworks, definitely a nice little drink to have and to add to the little category there. Something I definitely would probably have at poolside, or if you're outside fishing, stuff like that. But anyways, welcome in, and I'm glad you guys joined us tonight. We are going to go into some of the mob history for Vegas. Mike has his Drinks with Mike video, of course, and we'll go over all of those things. It's going to be a good one, guys. We're going to talk about a gentleman, and his name is Alan Glick, and we're going to talk about his presence in Vegas and bringing the mob into there and exactly what happened with him and those that were involved. It was a very interesting story, so we thought we'd start there with talking about the mob ties there in Vegas. So I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you guys are along for the ride. We are exactly 2 weeks away from being in Vegas, and I am so excited. I know Mike is getting excited too. Next week, we have a great show. We have had two surprise co-hosts on the show for next weekend, next Sunday, because we will be celebrating our 1-year anniversary of being on YouTube. So exciting. Did y'all visit the Mom Museum in Vegas yet? We have not, Tina. It is on our list of things to do, though, for sure. So yes, next Sunday, you do not want to miss are Plugged In with April, because I have two co-hosts that are going to be joining us. We are celebrating our 1-year anniversary of putting our first video, so to speak, out on YouTube. And we're going to actually have some giveaways as well. So don't want to miss that. Make sure you hit that notification bell and check in with us next Sunday. It is going to be a blast. We're going to have so much fun. Then we'll be in Vegas the following Sunday, and there we are going to have Jay. We've got Kim Zilla's going to be with us, Sean S., believe. We've got some other guests that are going to be appearing as well. So that's going to be a really fun show. We're going to host a cocktail hour in our room. It is going to be a blast. You don't want to miss that either. And then coming back that third week from now, we'll be back on the road from Vegas, and we will be hopefully going live from there and giving you a recap of our trip and everything. So Oh, don't worry about it, Tina. I definitely understand. Trust me, we understand. We've been in those mountains. We know how it goes. It's hard to keep your service in and out. Sometimes here in Texas, just on 35, which is a major interstate here, we can lose reception between towns as well. So we totally understand. But I appreciate you being here and giving it a try anyways. All right, guys. So let's see. Sherry says hi from Facebook. Well, welcome in, Sherry. Thank you for joining us. As always, we are broadcasting on Facebook, and then afterwards, you can always catch my shows, our podcast on Spotify, and you can catch us there once they do get published. Look at Sean S. Of course, I am here. I just finished dinner. Well, I'm glad you are here, Sean, because we appreciate all your love and your support. And Sean actually gave us this great suggestion for this week as far as drinks go. So if you want to, we can roll in and check on Mike and do drinks with Mike right fast. And then I will meet you back here to discuss Vegas mobs.
Welcome back to another episode of Drinks with Mike. My friend Sean reached out this week and wanted us to try the Moscow Mule. I went on the internet looking up the history of this, and boy, there's a lot of it. John Martin, which worked for the Yublin Company out of Connecticut. At the time, they sold mixers and imported A1 steak sauce. The mixers were straight cocktail mixers, and one of them being the Brass Monkey. Yep, the one that the Beastie Boys sang about. Well, he had acquired the rights to Smirnoff vodka, and it wasn't selling. They were making it here, but at the time, gin and whiskey were the big sellers in the U.S. He went to Los Angeles on a business trip and entered into the Cock and Bull bar on the Sunset Strip in Los Angeles, where he met Jack Morgan. Jack Morgan had problems of his own. He decided that he was going to produce ginger beer. And at the time, ginger ale was the big seller. And I think pretty much it is now. Well, Jack Morgan had tons of this stuff and he couldn't sell it. They sit down and they start talking and trying to figure out a way that they could make a drink that would incorporate their vodka and the ginger beer. Well, at the time, Jack Morgan's girlfriend had just acquired her family's copper company and was having trouble selling her stuff. So these three sit down and try to figure out a way to make something to sell the copper cups, Smirnoff, and the ginger beer. Well, they came up with the Moscow Mule. The rest is pretty much history. John Martin used to go around to bars with his Polaroid camera, instant camera, and take pictures of bartenders making this drink. And most of them really wanted nothing to do with this. But the idea of having a picture taken that they could take instantly home, show their family, then he would take one picture and go to the next bar and show, well, this guy's making this drink, and it took off. Now, there's a little plot twist when it comes to the copper cups. Sophie Brzezinski supposedly walked into the bar at the same time that Morgan and Martin were discussing their problems, and she was selling her cups, and they said, well, why don't we use this? Well, as far as Martin says, that's not what happened. It was the girlfriend. So not quite sure how this all goes into play, but a man called J.J. Ruskin, this guy, claims that it was his grandmother that was the one who sold the copper cups. And he started a company called Moscow Copper Company in honor of his grandmother. Lot to this. Who knows exactly, but according to Martin, he was there. This is how it all went down. So Sean also sent us these great copper cups that we're going to make this with. Let's get to making it, and we're going to make it exactly like they did at the Cock and Bull bar. Let's get started. Okay, let's get one of these mixed up. You're going to start off with your vodka. We've chose to go with the Smirnoff because it holds true to the original recipe, and you're going to need 2 ounces. to need your lime. Squeeze it up a little bit. You need 3/4 of an ounce of lime, and that's generally about a half of a lime. Squeeze that in there. Okay. Then we're going to add some ice. Then we're going to add our ginger beer. We've chosen to go with cock and bull because of the story, but there's reds, there's all kinds of different ginger beers out there you can try. You just kind of get close to topping it off. A little bit more ice in there. And we're going to take the other half of our lime. Chop it up a little bit, put it in for garnish, and there you have it, the Moscow Mule. Hope you like it. If you have any other ideas that you want us to try, let us know. Sean, thanks for the cups. Great idea, really refreshing. Enjoy, guys. See you next week.
Well, guys, here is the finished product. And Sean, thank you so much for sending us these copper cups and for suggesting the Moscow Mule. This is really, really refreshing. I am not a big fan of ginger, and I'm going to tell you, this is so good. And I agree with the comments. Adding the lime in there, and a lot of the lime, it is just so very refreshing. So thank you for the suggestion. Thank you for sending us the copper cups. You are a wonderful man. Valerie, you need to make one because it is very, very good. And you do need the copper cups to make to finish off the flavor of the drink itself. So be sure to get you some if you're going to try it. But guys, I am telling you, this is very, very refreshing. He did a fabulous job. So good, so good. Oh, great suggestion, Sean S. We appreciate that. And as always, guys, if you have any drinks that you want us to try and make for you guys or test out, or you have any great ideas, just shoot us a message or drop it in the comments here. We love to try different drinks and whatnot. Welcome in, Gambling Granny. Thank you so much for joining us. You guys had a great show Friday night. Always a pleasure watching your show. Welcome in, Gracie. Welcome. Glad you're here. Happy Sunday, guys. Hope you're doing well. Thank you for joining us. Mike's drink for the win. Oh, yeah, you helped him get to that finish line. That's for sure, Sean S. It's awesome. And it was a great surprise to come home and find the Amazon package with the cups itself. So how could we not resist? There's no way we could resist making these drinks. They are just so delicious, guys. You've got to try it. And I think actually have all the different types that he put in at the end. I really want to try the Kentucky one because I do like bourbon. So I think that the Kentucky Mule would be really, really good as well. We may try that later on this week, probably Wednesday night or Thursday night. We shall see. Anyways, guys, so what I welcome you into our Vegas mob history. Today, we're going to talk about Alan Glick and how he got started with the mob and all the different casinos that he was involved with and purchased. I actually really enjoyed this story and enjoyed doing the research on him. And I just kind of wanted to share that with you. So again, thank you for dropping in. But let's talk about Mr. Alan Glick, all right? Mr. Alan Glick is a graduate from Ohio State, and he actually had passed the bar for California and also in Pennsylvania as well. He was in the U.S. Army. He served in the Vietnam War. And during the war, he received 1 Bronze Star and then 3 air medals, combat air medals as well. Upon leaving the Army in 1969, he landed a job in San Diego. And this is where he kind of started off his business franchise. So he has landed a job at a home building firm. And then 2 years later, he decides he's going to join the real estate company in Saratoga Development, right? And this is where he gathers his $2.3 million and he acquires shares to the Hacienda Casino. And he now is owning the Hacienda Casino, and he has his gaming license for the one casino there in Las Vegas. So in 1973, he meets up with the Teamsters Union Pension Fund, and he meets up with the former president. His name is Jimmy Hoffa. Yep, there he is. And as well as meeting up with Ed Buchera, which is actually a money courier for Meyer Lansky, right? And they get the plan that they are going to come together and they are going to do buy the King Castle Casino, which is out of Lake Tahoe. However, this deal falls through, so he sets his sights on the beautiful Stardust. So in 1974, while he's setting his sights on the Stardust, in the background, what he's not aware of is leaders of the Milwaukee and the Kansas City mobs are having a meeting about Glick, right? Because he's now on the scene. They're now thinking and they're hearing about his name. And it turns out that Alan Glick actually went to school in college with Frank Bostera's son. So they now think, okay, well, we can kind of trust this guy. My son knows him. He's kind of new on the scene in Vegas. And they actually have a private meeting. So Alan goes and he meets with Frank in a private meeting. And they actually come to the conclusion and decide that he is going to purchase the Stardust and then also Fremont Casino, right? So he's now he already has the Hacienda. And now they're going to get him to purchase the Stardust and the Fremont Casino. So he agrees during this time that he's going to allow Joseph and John Joseph Balstrollo, which is Frank's sons, to buy in this Argent Corporation, right, which is the holding company for the Fremont and for the Stardust. And as we know, he owns the Hacienda. So now he's got the 3. There's the Argent Casino label or holding company label. And he allows Frank's sons to buy part of this corporation for $25,000. He then goes and he ends up meeting with the Kansas City and the Chicago Cleveland bosses. And he gets to talking to them about pension funds and gets a loan, right? And he takes this $62.7 million in pension funds. And he is owning the Stardust, the Fremont, and the Hacienda. And then later in that fall, he announces that Frank which is known as Lefty Rosenthal, will become his account executive, right? His associate of all 3 casinos. So now he's got Lefty handling all the accounts, and he's his account executive for the Stardust, the Hacienda, as well as Fremont Street. And what he doesn't know during this time, or he claims he doesn't know, is that Rosenthal is actually skimming at the time from the casinos. So what he's doing is he's taking the slot machines. Then when they are dumping out the coins out of the slot machines, his guys, Frank's guys, Lefty's guys, are skimming money from the casino here and there, and they're sending it back to the mobs at the same time. And so they are getting money this way. And again, Alan Glick thinks or claims that he knew nothing of this, right, as this is going on. So the skimming actually starts right in the fall of 74. And that's with Lefty getting involved and being involved with that and being able to do all the money exchanges. He's able to skim off some, smaller amounts that it's not too noticeable, but enough money to send it off back to Kansas City, to Cleveland, and all the different mobs that are now involved. So by 1975, he opens the fourth casino, which is the Marina, and he owns 65% of the actual casino itself. Rosenthal and Glick are going to, at this point in time, they have the Marina, which I will tell you now, we did some research, and the actual Marina still stands today, the Marina Hotel. It is actually part of the MGM Grand Hotel. And it's really cool. So it's the original tower. So they kept the tower there, and they just kind of added on to the rooms there at the MGM Grand. And I really think that's probably where Mike and I stayed when we were in the spa towers, because it's that, like I told y'all, it was only 3 or 4 stories tall, and it was kind of separate from the rest of the MGM Grand. So I think that that's actually the original part of the Marina. So that was interesting to find that it actually still exists out there. But so Rosenthal and Glick, you know, Rosenthal is known for his sports betting, and he actually gets this great idea that we're going to bring sports betting into the casinos, right? So there at the Stardust, he actually builds the first ever sports book. So we can thank him for all the wonderful sports books that are now in Vegas. And I love it. I love going there. I love betting. That's why I'm a big OU fan. Separate story, different day. But so Rosenthal and Glick, they bring in the sports book, they put it into the Stardust, and it takes off, right? It's a great success. And the other thing that they bring in is the Ziegfeld and Roy Magic Act, right? So they're the ones that brought them on the scenes, brought in performers, started up, you know, kind of bringing in a performer aspect into Vegas as well. So then Rosenthal turns out to be completely the outfitter for, oh, that's a cute picture. He turns out to be the outfitter for the mob. And again, you know, Glick claims that he did not know this, but he ends up embezzling all the money for the mob. He's sending it back home to them, and he's skimming off a little bit off the top here and there, and he's getting away from it. And again, you know, Glick is saying, I did not know this, did not know. But this actually goes on for about 2 years before the U.S. the feds, they come in and they figure it all out. So by 1976, state officials are discovering that the scheme is going on, and they're going to put an end to the mob. And they want to get rid, you know, they want them out of the Vegas area. They want them to clean up the act. They want the casinos to be legal. And so they actually send in, guys, 50 agents to take on, and they issue 83 warrants to take out the mob. And so they come in and they wire a whole bunch of different hotels, casinos, cars. They're wiretapping people's phones, and they are like doing a lot of groundwork, and they go in and they take them all out, and the mob is gone. And I mean, let me tell you though, the way they did it is really interesting. So they go in and, you know, they're wiretapping, they get all their information. They pretty much arrest a lot of those that are in the mob, those that weren't killed off. But Glick still, he never claims that he knew anything about the mobs and the involvement that he had, or that he was giving them money, any of his money. And he actually ends up giving testimony for the federals, for the feds, and that testimony was in exchange for his innocence. And based on what he said, they believed him. So he never went to jail, and he ended up moving back to San Diego, where he originally had started, right? He does claim, though, right before he died, that he was very, you know, cautious in the 80s, the early 80s, leading up into the late 80s, of always watching his back and making sure that the mobs weren't coming after him and whatnot. He was really scared of all of that. But his testimony would actually be the key to the ending of the mob's lucrative skimming operation that they had there in Las Vegas. And I believe Mike has a picture actually of the mob actually ends up taking out Frank Rosenthal. And, Oh, they just tried to. Yeah, I apologize. They weren't successful, but they did try to take him out. And there's a picture of the car itself, right? So they tried to set the car on fire. And it's just terrible. But I thought Alan Glick's his involvement with the mob and not really knowing what he was doing. Now, you're going to come in and you're going to do these pension funds and you're going to accept the funding, right? I'm not sure how you would think that you're not getting in bed with the mob. If you know that they're working and you're bringing in their son, so you bringing in John and John Joseph, or Joseph and John Joseph into the picture, you've got to know that you're dealing with the mob. I mean, and maybe we know because we kind of grown up around it. We've been exposed to it. We've seen a lot of movies and that type of thing. So we know it's the mob. But I just can't imagine that he wouldn't realize what he was getting in bed with. And the fact that, he pleaded his case and he testified against them. I don't know how they weren't successful in taking him out, because they took out a lot of people. And that was the premise of the movie Casino. You are right, Sean. Absolutely. Right. So just an interesting story that, he sounded very like a great businessman, right? He made the right decisions. He did the legwork. He gets into the casino business and he gets his license for not La Hacienda, that's a restaurant, but the Hacienda Casino. And, he gets it up and running. And then he just kind of, it's that always, you want more, right? So you're going to get more involved. You're going to get more casinos. And then you got to ask for more money. And getting the mobs to come in and you're hiring them, and then you bring Lefty in as your account executive. At that point in time, for the feds, I would find it hard to believe that they didn't think, or he didn't know that he was dealing with the mob, right? But somehow with his testimony and how he cooperated with the feds, he was able to, not be held accountable for this. But that's essentially, how the mob comes in and takes over in the casinos. We know, there was a lot more. Yeah, Valerie, it's a great movie. You really should go see it. It's a really long movie, if I can remember. I think it was like 2.5, 3 hours long, but it's a really, really good movie. What was I saying? I lost my train of thought. Oh, with the mobs, this is just, one of the many different things as far as Vegas history goes, and the mob being on the scene there. And we just kind of plan to dive into those little by little as we move forward. So it'll probably be a couple of weeks once we get back from Vegas. And I would love to go to the Mob Museum. I would love to be able to feature that as well here on the channel and let you guys see that, since that is kind of what we're going through. Look at that. Gambling Granny, thank you so much for the $4.99 super chat. This is from Granny, the better half of Gigi and Dice. Keep up the good work, guys. I agree with you, Gigi. I agree. We women always have to be the better half. That was really cute on Friday night. I was watching. I think that was great. But it is definitely, Valerie, a movie that you should sit down and watch. And perhaps you can make a Moscow Mule, right? And drink that and enjoy it as well at the same time. Guys, it's so good. So good. But just kind of give us an idea of any other things that you kind of want to dive into as far as Vegas history goes. I really enjoy doing the research on these things. And you are right, Sean. There is a movie that's it's depicted from what happened. But Hollywood always glamours things up, and they also kind of put their own spin on things as well. But it is a great movie to go and watch. Alan Glick, I think it was, I found him very interesting. I think that it's interesting that he never was indicted for any kind of involvement with the mobs and everything that went on during that time frame there in Vegas. So that was the early 70s, and this is over a 2-year time frame where Rosenthal is in there and he's just kind of skimming money off the top. And it's amazing to see how everybody had like an intricate part, right? So the persons that were supposed to be the higher trusted people to count the money, separate the coins, put them in the machine, even they were taking from the mob, essentially, because, as they're counting the money, they're putting a few away because no one's going to notice. And then, Rosenthal's doing that for the mob as well, and sending it back once a month to Kansas City and Cleveland and Chicago and whatnot, and Milwaukee. So everybody kind of got their hands involved, and people, there's no, I can understand why in Vegas today there are so many security cameras. I can understand why, there are so many, all these security measures go into handling of the money and everything. And essentially, we know that's why they went to tickets, right? Because it's less money being, around everywhere in the casino. And if you've got these tickets and these vouchers that you've got to print out. And I'm going to tell you, I like that option, and I liked it up until the point that they decided they don't want to give you your change. So I hate more than anything that I have a winning ticket that's, let's say, $17.98, and it's not going to give me my 98 cents, right? So if I go to the ATM and I put my ticket in, it gives me the $17, and then it prints me another ticket for the 98 cents that's remaining, or it wants me to donate it. And I can't stand that, right? I hate that they took away all the coins and getting them, and you have to go to the cage to cash those in, right? I don't know if you guys feel that way, but it drives me nuts that we have to do that. Sean S. says, people that have lived there their whole lives that were adults during that time wish the mob was still here. It was much more refined back then. I bet so, right? And just so, just think about, welcome in, Avery Bolton. Hope you're doing well. Thank you for joining us. That is our daughter. Thank you for being a part of our show tonight. I honestly would have liked to kind of lived and been a part of that scene. I was alive, but I would have liked to have seen part of that. And when I go to Vegas, I like to get that nostalgic, old-timey Vegas feeling, which I think Fremont does a really great job, and still having that piece of it. And so does the Flamingo. Maybe the Casino Royale also kind of has that old Vegas vibe. But, now everything is so regulated and measurements are taken, for security measures, that it's just kind of interesting how all that works out. Hey there, don't give you the options. They keep the change. Oh, really? They don't give you the options? Yeah, so here you can cash it in, and then you just have to go to the cashier's cage to get your change. 9 times out of 10, I usually just give my voucher, whatever it is, to somebody that's playing, put it in the machine or set it down there. Which I know if they were to win a big jackpot of that and they traced it all the way back, it wouldn't be their money or what have you. I know that's a big no-no, but usually that's what I do. If I have a ticket left over, I either give it to somebody that's still gambling or just leave it on the machine itself. It just drives me nuts that they don't give us the change. And I'd love to know, and I'm sure there's a report out there, but out of all these casinos and all this change that's left over and all the charities that they go to, I wonder how much money these charities actually get from our casino vouchers when they don't print out the money, right? I would love to be able to see that statistic and see that amount of money. That's what I want to see, old Vegas. I agree, Valerie. I like old Vegas. It's a shame that our kids will probably never get to see Vegas, other than what's in the movies. It was just, it's that very nostalgic old Vegas feeling. It was less touristy, even though, it was a tourist attraction. There just wasn't all these other things to do. It was just more, it was like an entertainment, right? You're going in and it was adult entertainment, and meaning, gambling and drinking and smoking or whatever. But now, there's just, when you go to Vegas, there's so much to do. And I always laugh when people say, oh, it's my first time to Vegas. How much money do I take to gamble on? And, you set your budget, right? You kind of need to know what your budget is. We typically do $200 a day for each of us. So it ends up being $400 a day when we go to Vegas. And that's pretty much our cap per day. If I win, we might play a little bit more, but we try to always come back. I think this is the first time actually that we came back from Vegas non-profit. Like we didn't make any money this time. We made money. I just kept putting it back in. So this was actually the first time that we've come home from Vegas without a positive or money in our pocket. But it was fun, right? We had a great time. But I just think the old Vegas, now it's, you've got malls, you've got shopping, you have these very extravagant hotels that are, you got the Wynn. They're resorts. They're massive, and you have all the walkways. Like I can actually remember when you didn't have the walkways and you didn't have to go up and over, and you would hit the light and people were out walking on the street, right? And I know for safety reasons they took that all away, but that's the cool part, right? Or even when you see in the movies where people would just driving up and down the strip and pulling right into the casinos. And now, you got to pull in, you got to drive around, you got to park your car, the valet. Then, that's kind of the thing with the plaza. They put in the carousel bar and they kind of took away. I mean, it still looks neat. And we're going to be there in a few weeks. We're going to check it out. But it kind of took away that old Vegas vibe for me. So if anybody's been there recently and they've actually seen the carousel bar, what are your thoughts on it? Do you think it was an improvement? Did you like the change that they made? Sean says, I remember driving on Fremont Street. And I agree with you, Valerie. I can shop at home as well. I am not going to Vegas to shop. Number one, if you're flying, you have limited storage space coming back. And even when we do drive once a year to Vegas, I'm not there to shop. Like, I am there to have fun, lay out at the pool, gamble. I love to people watch. I just love to prop up, where's that place that we go to? Beer Park. And we also like going down to the Bird Bar. And we just like to sit and watch people, watch the sunset, watch the sunrise. It's very early there in Vegas, by the way, the sunrise. So if you've never been to Vegas and you think you're going to sleep in, make sure you got those blackout curtains because it is bright and early there. Sun comes up super early and it is absolutely beautiful. And that's actually, when we go to Vegas, we love to get up, pretty early. We are probably out the door by like 5:30, 6 a.m. Vegas time. And that is one of my favorite times to hit the strip. We can do a lot of filming there. It's very quiet. It's very peaceful. And for the most part, it's clean still because they've, washed down the concrete and whatnot the day before. But don't get me wrong. I mean, I like the nighttime life. I like going up and down the strip at night. We go walking, we do our strip walking, we go live for you guys. I like all of that as well, but there's something to be said about the peace and quiet. 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning, walking the strip, walking down the Link Promenade. You guys should definitely try it sometime. It's just very relaxing and very peaceful. I don't know. Valerie, ooh, not me. Are you like to sleep in? Can't get up that early? I hear you. We just try when we travel to stay on Texas time so that we don't get messed up. So we are pretty much, it is really hard pressed for us to be up at midnight Vegas time because we are so tired. Oops, I'm sorry, I hit that microphone. Shauna says, parents moved here in 1996, but we would come down and meet my grandparents once a year. Oh, that's cool, Shauna. I love that. I've seen pictures of with my dad and my mom in Vegas, like in the 70s, and with my grandparents and stuff. And I'm just telling you, it just looks like a great time. Not that it's not a great time now, but it definitely in the 70s and 80s it was just a different time, a different way in Vegas. I was laughing because on Facebook, one of the ladies was like, oh, it's my first time in Vegas. I had a blast. And I commented on it. I said, oh, welcome to your newest addiction. And then I, in all caps put Vegas, and she wrote back, you're not kidding. I am addicted and already booking my next trip. And I think that's pretty par for anybody that goes to Vegas. It's just fun. There's just something about the city. It's just magical, and there's just so much to do and different. I just love all the different people that come from all over the world, right? And you're there and you can hear all the different tourists in all the different languages. I love it. It just fascinates me that everybody comes to Las Vegas from all over the world. I love it. I absolutely. Kissy Cat, sorry I am late. My video wouldn't load. Oh, no worries, Kissy Cat. I'm glad that you joined us. Welcome in, REN Slots. Back in the day, we had something to keep it going. Welcome in. I'm so glad you guys could join us. I absolutely do love it. Kissy Cat, it's no worries at all. I appreciate you being here and joining us. We are having a Moscow Mule is our drink of the night, which is very good. Sean S. sent us the copper cups, and Mike made a fantastic recipe. We went over Alan Glick and all the mob history and his ties to the mob history and that sort of thing. So you'll have to go back and rewatch it. It's pretty good. It's pretty much on the same storyline of the movie Casino. So if you've seen the movie Casino, then you probably know some of the things that we discussed already. I love your bar. Well, thank you, Kissy Cat. It's really not much of a bar. We are trying. We kind of just have, our stuff up there. What you don't see is I have my grandmother's old china cabinet, and that is really where the bulk of our liquor is at. My grandmother would probably not like that much, but I usually at the top half of it is all glass, and that's kind of where we keep a lot of our glasses and the liquor itself. Jamal Samson, welcome in. Let's see. The last time I went to Las Vegas, it was August 1st through 5th of 2002. I was somehow 13. Wow. You need to get back out to Vegas. It's changed a lot. A lot. I think I took my girls in 2000. I think it was 2009 is when I took my kids. And that's the one and only time I took them to Vegas. They've gone since on their own. Like my one daughter went for her 21st birthday. But I want to get my sister there before her transplant and she gets sick. Oh, Valerie, yeah, you need to take her. Let her enjoy that. It's a great time, right? Hope she does well, though. When is her transplant? Yeah, you need to take her. It's always good to try to do, one last big hoorah before you have a major surgery or anything like that. Kissy Cat, my buddy Adam runs the mob vlog tour in Vegas. Oh, that's cool. Kissy Cat has all the hookups. All the hookups. Look at you. Tracy has not been in 22 years. We've discussed this before, Tracy. You need to go. Jump in the car. Do I need to come to Arizona and get you the next time? Like plan that road trip and come all the way up into Arizona and bring you to Vegas? We could do that next year if we need to. Tracy needs to be here for Fall Lizards. I agree, Sean S. We need to get her there. Yeah, so the Lizard Festival is October 14th, and you've got Granny Fest October 13th and 14th as well. So guys, if you are planning on coming to Vegas, that would be a ideal time to come to Vegas because so many YouTube channels are going to be there. I mean, you've got the Yoshis are going to be there. Tina, LoveStruck Gambling is going to be there. We're going to be, there's just so many people, so many YouTube channels. You got Gambling Granny, Gambling Mitzi's going to be there. It's just going to be a blast, guys. Kissy Cat is going to be there. She's promised me a margarita with Patron. She and I are going to meet up. I already told her I was going down to get her. There you go, Shauna. So Tracy, start packing your bags. You have until October to be ready. Yes, we need to get you here. It'll be fun. But so October is a great time to go because a lot of the YouTube channels come in. It's a great way to meet everybody, see everybody. Like I can't wait to meet Kissy Cat in person. There's just so many people that are going to be there. A lot of our wonderful mods are going to be there as well. And, we've yet to meet them, right? They joined, just like you guys, they joined in on our YouTube channel. They've been great supporters. We've asked them to be our moderators. And we really haven't met them. I think we've met Sean S. and we've met Jay, but that's really it as far as our mods go. So it'll be fun to go to Vegas, and October is definitely the time, and you cannot beat a better time to be in Vegas as far as weather goes. It is absolutely beautiful. It's nice during the day. You need a jean jacket in the evening hours. It is absolutely, in my opinion, the best time to go to Vegas is October, November. Sean is our new mod. Yes, he is. Sean S. is our new mod. Welcome aboard, Sean S. I thought we made that announcement last week. Maybe we didn't. Tina, welcome back. Did I miss the fun stuff? You did, Tina, but you can certainly go back and watch it. I apologize, but yes, we did go through all the Vegas history. Best time is in October. I agree with you, Gambling Granny. We went in February this year, and guys, it was cold. One of the days there was light snow, drizzle falling. It was super, super cold in February. let's see, we went in July last year, which was hot. We went in September of last year, which was even hotter, surprisingly enough. And then we were there in September, and then we went back in November, and the end of October, 1st of November, and it was absolutely gorgeous. It was like the best time of year to go. So definitely, if you're one of those people, if you're not a pool person and you don't care about the pools, that is really a great time to go to Vegas, is in October. You'll find a few pools that are still open around that time, especially on Fremont Street. I think it's the Circa is open at that point in time. But if you're not big into the pool party scene and all of those types of things, then, it's actually the perfect time of year to go. You're not going to get hot. And I think, yeah, when we were there in September, yeah, because that was the hotter time, I got really sick. Like I felt like I had like a mini heat stroke. It was really hot outside. I'm lost about where to stay and what to do, etc. It's scary being alone. Valerie, you can always hit me up with any kind of questions, and I will let you know where you should stay. I will tell you, if you're staying by yourself, no, don't stay at the link. I would not stay at the link. It's just such a party scene. But yes, you can always hit me up on Facebook or send me an email from our About page. If you scroll over in YouTube, we have an email address. You can certainly reach out to me, and I can help you pick out where to stay based on what you like, right? Because it always depends. Because you always get the age-old question on Facebook: what's the best hotel to stay at? Well, to answer that question, when are you going? What is important to you? If the pool scene is important to you, are you a person at the pool that wants to go to a party pool? Are you going because you want to go to the pool and you want to relax? I mean, those are the kind of things that, just on Facebook without knowing anything, it's hard to answer those questions because each thing is different. Like if you want to party and you want to have a great time and you want to be in a pool with a bunch of people that are drinking and just living life to the max, the Flamingo's it, right? Because the Flamingo has the 21 and up pool, and it is a hot vibe, and they have DJs there, and it is just a great party place. If you want a more relaxed, laid back kind of feel, then I would go for Bally's, because we really enjoyed it when we stayed at Bally's, and we had the cabana for the day. It's just a more relaxed, easy vibe, not a party pool. So, again, you just reach out to me, Valerie, when you get ready and you want to go, and I'll help you plan it. It is, we got lots of ins and outs, can definitely give you some tips, especially if you're going to go alone. There are lots of people that go alone. There are a lot of ladies that go alone, and they have a great time, right? It's just about going and being aware of your surroundings, not looking too much like a tourist, and enjoying yourself. And it's safe. You definitely, you just need to know the little tips and tricks of the trade. So just reach out, and I will, help you, and we'll get you somewhere that you're going to have fun. Slot Lizard Weekend. Okay. All right. So if you're coming for Slot Lizard Weekend, then yes, we can definitely help you plan that. You probably want to stay on Fremont Street then, because that's where most of what we're going to be doing, I believe, is on Fremont Street. But if not, you could always stay on the Strip, and you can take an Uber or taxi down to Fremont Street as well. So that'll be fun if you're coming, because then we'll get to meet you. That'll be great. Jamal says, I went in 104-degree weather to Las Vegas from Seattle back in 2002. Yeah. Most are going to be staying at the Cosmo. Okay, Sean S., that's good to know. Very good to know. So we'll definitely, again, Valerie, we'll get you, we'll figure it out. We'll help you get that planned out so you can come and enjoy it. Don't stress out. Don't stress out. We got you. We'll get it done. Let's see. Kissy Cat. Okay, she's commenting to Granny. Great. Got it. Okay. Wonderful. But yes, guys, it's going to be fun. October is a great time to come to Vegas. We truly enjoy it. Welcome, Sean S., our newest mod. Yep. And there's the wonderful cups that you gave us. Mike, you're getting really too good at doing this whole picture stuff. Like you're getting really good at taking graphs and pictures and making them something else. Because I do believe that is the picture from him picking up Robin T and Mr. T at the airport, right? and you just impose the nice drink in his hand. That's cute. You're getting good at it. Yeah, so Valerie, we can talk about if you want to stay on the strip or not. I'm not sure where we're going to stay yet. I am actually waiting for our trip here when we're going. Yes, right. It is LoveStruck. It was absolutely a great option because I'd never heard of Moscow Mule. But yeah, once we get back from Vegas in 2 weeks, once my comps start rolling in and my offers, that is when we'll sit down and start planning out our trip for October. It's really hard to have a bunch of comps and book them this in advance if you know you're going to have trips in between. So I'm kind of waiting to see what kind of offers I'm going to get after this trip to kind of decide on where we're going to stay in October. This time around, we are at the Palms, and we are at Cromwell, we are at the Palazzo, and we're at the Vidara, all of which we've never stayed at except for the Palazzo. That's where we stay for the whole week of our honeymoon, which is why we're going to go back there. It's just a special night for us. But all of which we haven't stayed there. Like, we love the Cromwell. We love to gamble in there. It smells so good. And I've rented out the mezzanine day for Mike and I to enjoy on our anniversary. And it's just going to be a fun, relaxing day for us. And it is during the weekday, so it's not the party pool, because it is also the Dreas Club. And on the weekends, that is a happening place, much like the Flamingo. It is a party pool. So we are going to do that during the week. But I'm excited because I like staying at different hotels when we go. The Vidara, we've heard such great things about. We're going to try to play at the Cosmo this time around. We go in the Cosmo, but we've never really played there other than with Jay when we did that group pool. Have a blast, Mike and April. Thank you. I appreciate that, Gambling Granny. We are so excited. So we're going to try to play a little bit more at the Cosmo so that we can maybe get a room there as well in October. It'll be fun. That's pretty awesome. Love it. Yep. So we're going to have a great trip. I am excited about it. Again, guys, be sure you set your notifications for next Sunday because we are celebrating our 1-year anniversary of being on YouTube. I have 2 co-hosts that are going to be joining me. It's going to be fun. We are also doing a giveaway. So we have some merchandise that we're going to be giving away for our 1-year anniversary. All this time, I thought we started in August, and Mike went back and looked at our first video, and it actually posted on July 8th, I believe it was. Yep, he's saying yes. So our first 1-year anniversary date for YouTube is July 8th. So be sure you tune in next Sunday because that is going to be a great show. We'll kind of go over that. We might have a couple of bloopers here and there of some funny things that might have happened over the year that you guys have not seen. And I will tell you, it's a lot of fun around here. When we are making these videos, especially the Drinks with Mike, I love it because I am on the other side of the camera. It is so much fun to direct him. I love making him laugh. He can be very serious and really rolling with it. And I want him to like pep up, or I want him to smile, or I want him to do something funny. And it is just a lot of fun. So be on the lookout for some of these fun, uncut, uncensored bloopers that he has, because it's going to be a lot of fun. We have grown so much over the past year. We couldn't have done it without you guys. All the love and support that you provide us, it's just been tremendous. We have changed directions here and there with the YouTube channel, and you guys just keep coming. You keep showing up. You keep supporting us, and we appreciate that because you are what drives us to do what we are doing. We are enjoying it. It is a ton of fun. It's just been, for us, this journey and us doing this together has been a lot of fun, right? It's a lot of work. A lot of amount of time goes into it. Serious when he drives nonstop back from Vegas. Yes, serious. He is so serious when he drives back on our trip. Like, once he's ready to go home, it's go home, right? I'm surprised he doesn't give me a cup to pee in on the road because he wants to get home and relax and put everything away and move, let's go. And that he calls that Vegas out. So there is a point in our trip at some point in time, and sometimes it doesn't happen at the same time, but we just kind of get Vegas out where enough's enough. We're ready to go, right? And you'll definitely know when we reach that point with Mike, because when he's ready to go, he's ready to come home. We get the car, and it's just nonstop, straight drive back to Dallas, and it's just that's how it is. And I like that going there. Like when I'm going to Vegas, I want to just get there. I don't want to stop. July 8th is actually Saturday this year. That is correct, Jamal. We're still going to have our show on the 9th on Sunday, but July 8th is our 1-year anniversary. But we will still be having our show next Sunday, which is July 9th. So thank you for clarifying that for me. But yeah, going to Vegas, I just want to go. I want to go straight through. We don't really want to start. We get Granny Fest on Friday the 13th. I know. That's an interesting day, right? I wonder if there'll be any kind of tricks or ghosts or goblins or something on the 13th. Friday the 13th. That's actually pretty risky, Granny. I like it. I like it. It's going to be fun. And the El Cortez, guys, is great, right? It's just beautiful down there. And if you're going to Granny Fest, she did post out her information on that. And it's at the El Cortez, which is a beautiful hotel. They do a great job. They are so friendly to YouTubers, and it's just a class act at El Cortez. Oh man, they truly, truly are. Chainsaw juggling? What do you mean? Oh, that's your talent. Yeah, we already threw that out. Granny said no, you can't do chainsaw juggling. I suggested it. She said no. Sorry, I tried. You'll have to come up with something better. You can make drinks. Well, they probably wouldn't like that either because they want their own alcohol there to be served. We can find you a talent, baby. Don't worry. Can you do baton twirling? We could do that. We could light the ends. You and Sean S. There you go. We can get y'all batons that set on fire. Y'all can wear leotards and get up there on stage and twirl and twerk. You could twirl and twerk. That would be fun. Our choreographic for both of you. We'll just need to practice it a little bit. All right, guys. So that is going to be. I was gonna twirl with fire, and I can't do it. Oh, kissy cat. That's funny. Yeah, I think it's a safe bet, right? Just don't catch the casino on fire. I think we could do it. I tell you what, when Dice gets out there with his Granny Fest. Okay, yeah. Let me explain that to you, Valerie. When Dice gets out there and playing his guitar. It's really awesome. So Gambling Granny does a show every Friday night, and I don't know if one of our mods can drop her link or not. If y'all have it. Gambling Granny actually puts on a show. It is her and her husband every Friday night. They do scratch offs. You actually have a chance to share in the win. These are her tickets that she does scratches live on her show. You go in and you pick out your number, and the closest number without going over, and there's some rules to it. Will win, and she splits the money up to $200 if whatever the win is with you. But every year she has Granny Fest. So basically she has tickets. It's an event that she holds at the El Cortez. There's 280 tickets out there this year, which unfortunately are all taken. But she does have a waiting list if you want to get on that. But they all come together, and she puts on a great show. Her and Dice do. Last year, they had some showgirls. They had a great performer. I cannot remember his name. Did some great stuff. Dice got up there. He plays his electric guitar every Friday night, and he brought that with him, and he did some performances out into the audience. It's a lot of fun. It's just a great way for all of us to meet, right? Because we're on YouTube every week. We're all interacting on different channels, different, slot channels and scratching channels and just YouTube channels in general. And it's a great way for everybody to mingle and get to know everybody. And it's just a lot of fun. This is her 3rd year, I believe, Kissy Cat, if I'm not wrong, of doing it. Yes, Sean in a tutu. See, it would be worth it. And so she has what's called Granny Fest. So definitely you'll have to check it out. You need to go subscribe to her channel. She has like I said, she does her show every Friday night, and it's really awesome. It's great entertainment. Love listening and watching them. We love watching Dice play the guitar. It's a lot of fun. So you'll definitely want to go check that out. That's what Granny Fest is. And she does it every year, and around the 2nd or 3rd week of October is when they get together and do it. It's a big event. It's a lot of fun. It's kind of like the Lizard festival that they're doing, the fall festival. It's very similar to that as well. And then they do a group pool where people can put in their money, and they all do a group pool as well. Lots of fun stuff. Again, it's a great community, and I tell you this time and time again, it's just an absolutely great community to be a part of. It's a great way to meet everybody, so definitely come in October if you can. And I will help you out as far as where to stay and things like that, so that you're not staying somewhere that you don't feel safe. But guys, be sure you hit the notification bell. Come back and see us next Sunday. We're going to have great giveaways. I've got 2 co-hosts that are going to be joining in and celebrating our 1-year anniversary. We are super excited to have you guys. Welcome in, James. Thank you so much. I appreciate everybody coming in and showing us the love and support. I hope you come back next Sunday and we can be part of our great 1-year anniversary celebration. And everybody have a wonderful week. Take care, and we will see you next Sunday. And cheers to the Moscow Mule. Great job, Sean. Appreciate it, and love the cups as well.
This has been a Mike and April studio production.